We're live.
We are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Homespun Yak. How's it going, Mr. Hatley?
Well, it's good.
Kyle's taking advantage of his brand new webcam. I'm assuming it's a webcam, right?
Yes, the Papa Look webcam.
Papa Look.
Papa Look is what the brand is. I got it at, it's first when you walk in Walmart and they have all those like little machines where you put in like a quarter and you can get a little prize.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You walked in thinking, I need to get myself a webcam.
Yeah, and I said, look at yonder. Look at yonder. There goes one right yonder. And put a quarter in. And it was one of them drop down big old claw games. And I never win those. I must have played it 1,000 times. I never win it. And this time I got me a webcam. So
Nice.
I got lost in my own eyes when you asked me how I was doing. So I couldn't respond. I can see myself now.
Yeah, it's a dramatic difference for sure.
Yep.
Papa Look. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Papa Look. I did get it off Amazon. It had some pretty good reviews, so might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, looks great. If anybody's not watching the podcast, hop on over to YouTube and you can look at Kyle's new camera quality.
Yep. Homespun Yak YouTube channel. We've got subscribers building up from around the globe, so get in on the action while it's hot before we start charging people.
Yeah, exactly. Before we start charging people, I think you have to get to like 100,000 subscribers on YouTube to have like
a couple more weeks.
Yeah, couple more weeks. Yeah, I haven't been able to keep up with all the comments that we keep receiving.
I know. I've just had to stop responding.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, sorry.
Yeah.
We're just two people. So
we're just two guys, just talking about
two
random
cool dudes
things.
having a good time.
That's all we are. Don't try and idolize us. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, don't listen to us. We're dumb. As Joe Rogan says.
Oh yeah, that's like his constant disclaimer.
After he commands you to work out, I mean, what? That's the patriarchy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I definitely have a pretty big topic to discuss. I'm sure it's probably on your mind as well.
NBA playoffs. Yep.
That's what I was thinking about. Way more important than the massive political shift.
The implications that we're about to experience. We thought the election was the only thing we had to worry about, but no. Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away.
Yeah. What was your reaction when you heard the news?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I didn't really consider immediately, like I didn't jump straight to, wow, this could be huge political turmoil because, now Trump has the potential to pick another Supreme Court justice and all that. I guess I just thought more of like, I don't know, what a huge cultural icon she's become in recent years. I guess she had a really famous documentary made about her life that was very popular a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, I mean, just a groundbreaking individual in that world. Just the first, I don't know if she was the first woman Supreme Court justice, but um, certainly broke a lot of barriers for women in a lot of different ways. And I think that's probably the first thing that I thought about. And, it's probably unfortunate that a lot of people are like jumping to the conclusion of like, oh my God, now Trump gets to choose another person, like hell yeah, or this is really scary. There's two sides of it, which is understandable to go there, but I don't know. I heard a lot of different things about, this has happened before where someone has died in an election year from the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And certain times they have approved another one before the next president potentially gets in that following year. And sometimes they hold off until they know the result of the election. I mean, I have no idea what is like constitutional in this regard and what isn't. I don't know if you've looked into it that deeply or not.
I've looked into it a little bit. My understanding is that they technically are allowed to. They are allowed to appoint a new one, but the precedent was set in 2016, where the Republicans said that President Obama wasn't allowed to appoint a new one at I guess, within that last year of his presidency. So because that precedent's been set, so many people are saying, well, now they're walking back their remarks. So
right,
actually,
because
good.
Well, because Trump basically the next day came out and said we're going to appoint a new woman like within the week, and then Mitch McConnell, who's the head of the Senate, basically just reaffirmed what he said.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What's the problem?"
Like, well, what's the problem? Yeah, you're just going exactly back on what you said in 2016, which is a perfect segue actually into a clip that I want to play. This is Lindsay Graham in 2016 for anybody who's just listening to the podcast.
I want you to use my words against me. If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say, Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might be, make that nomination. And you could use my words against me, and you'd be absolutely right.
Okay, so that's what he said in 2016, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to post something up here, and you go ahead and read what it says. This is from just a couple days ago.
Is it from him?
This is from Lindsey Graham.
All right. I'll do it in his voice.
Oh, great.
On Saturday, Graham was signing. Oh, this isn't him.
Well, part of
speaking,
it is.
it?
Part of it is.
Okay. On Saturday, Graham was signing a different. Sorry, let's take that again.
Okay.
On Saturday, Graham was singing a different tune, pledging support for President Trump in any effort to move forward regarding the recent vacancy created by the passing of Justice Ginsberg.
Yep. So so in his quotes, he was saying that now he's okay with going forward with appointing a new justice for the Supreme Court, which, as you heard in the 2016 clip, he was crystal clear about whoever the president is in 2016, for that term. Even if it's the first term of that president, he was not going to support. And this is obviously before, I'm assuming before they knew that Trump
was going to be
right.
president.
Yeah. Yeah. So he said it beforehand, and now, I mean,
And literally said, use this against me.
Use this against, exactly. How nuts is that?
Yeah, that is just, that's politics in general. That's politics in a nutshell right there. That's Washington.
Yep. And people ask me why the fuck I don't vote. Because you're just voting for another piece of shit person to go into politics and just flip-flop and just lie and do whatever they have to.
Yeah, do whatever they have to do to appease their constituency. And yeah, that is, it doesn't get like dirtier than that, I feel like. And I don't know what the excuses are on either side, really, but, probably saying, well, this is a crazy year and we need stability and we have to get one right away.
Yeah.
And
right.
Yeah, I get that it's legally, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a Republican-dominated Senate, right? So if he appoints someone, it just has to go through the Senate?
Yep, that's my understanding.
And I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, he's going to just do it, and it's going to go through.
Yep, that's basically it. I mean, Democrats. So the Democrats have very few options. There's like a whole interview process, so I guess they can extend that as much as they can. But beyond that,
right.
There's very little the Democrats can do other than convince certain Republicans to uphold what was said in 2016 by many Republicans. It wasn't just Lindsey Graham. There's multiple Republicans that said essentially what he said. So there are 2 Republicans that have said they will not allow President Trump to select or this president, so President Trump this time, but they they'll wait. If he wins, then of course it's fine. But so there's 2 Republican senators that have said they will stand with the Democrats on this issue, but they need 2 more, because if they just have 1 more, my understanding is that then it's a tie, and if it's a tie, then Vice President Pence gets to vote to break the tie. And I imagine he's going to, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where he's going to, how he's going to vote. But you imagine that he would go with the Republicans.
Let's just push that on through.
Exactly.
We'll push that on through. No big deal.
As he's walking to go get lunch, he just quick signs something. He doesn't even read it.
Just doesn't look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they need in total 4 Republicans, and there's 3 that are kind of on the edge. I think Romney is one of them, who at least hasn't said anything yet. And the Democrats are hoping that because he voted against President Trump, which, for his impeachment at that time, that there's some hope. But I wouldn't be surprised if Romney did that as part of look at me, I can work with both sides, but who knows? Whatever. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. But then the Democrats are now threatening, okay, well, if you do this, then the cryptic message is anything goes next year. That's what they said. So if we win the Senate, we're going to just absolutely F you over.
Oh my God.
It's essentially a bunch of bark because the Democrats can't do anything right now.
Yeah, right now they cannot. I mean, are they set to... I don't believe the polls at all anywhere, but I don't know what the talk is regarding Senate overhaul. Is it looking like it's leaning toward a Democratic dominated Senate after this year, or I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know, but according to a Democrat.com poll, the Democrats are going to win by a landslide, 98%.
Wow.
No.
We'll trust that.
Yeah, we'll trust that. But I will say North Carolina, which I believe that's where you're based, Kyle. They have a Senate seat that's up for grabs. So Tillis, I believe. It was
Thom Tillis.
Yeah, Tom Tillis. So,
Thom actually is pronounced.
Thom. Okay.
Thom.
Thom Tillis. Is he the one that was at the beginning of the year was in that like huge scandal and whatnot about, I guess, what was it, stocks or something like that with the coronavirus? Was that him?
I think it was somebody else.
Okay.
North
we'll
Carolina, though. Yeah.
No,
yeah. It was. I think it was a congressman from North Carolina. I don't know. Could have been him. Who knows?
Yeah, can't remember either. But anyway, point is that he there's his seat is up. So get out and vote, folks. Definitely do your due diligence.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like on one hand, I get that it's like if you're the majority, well, if you're the president currently and someone dies and it's your job to appoint a SCOTUS or whatever they're called. Is it SCOTUS?
That rings true for
What
me.
was Ginsberg?
SCOTUS
Chief Judge
stands for what?
That's not SCOTUS.
No. Hold on. Yeah, Supreme Court of the United States. Yes, SCOTUS.
Oh, okay.
That's
cool.
right. Yeah, I couldn't put
I
it
knew
together
that.
in my head either.
If someone dies or steps away, I completely understand that based on the job title or the job description of president, it's like you have to appoint a new one, and that has to be approved. And if that's legal, then I don't see a problem with it. But I guess the big problem was in 2016, was the Senate Republican dominated as well?
I
I
couldn't
don't
tell
know.
you that. But I mean, I imagine, right? Because if President Obama was the one that selected this person, and then, I mean, obviously it didn't pan out. So I imagine that the Senate was Republican. It must have been.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would have, I mean, I imagine Democrats wouldn't have been like, I mean, they clearly would have pushed it through because there wasn't that precedent. The Republicans, I'm assuming what happened is the Republicans blocked it. And then they said, well, don't worry, this is like we're setting the precedent now, and we're saying up front, if this happens with the next president, even if they're Republican, we're also going to do it. And then, as we can see, they're just lying through their teeth.
They forgot, 4 years ago.
They're
just like, oh, well, whoopsies.
Whoopsie. We haven't actually even done it yet. Like, we could correct it. But whoopsies, and then just plug your ears for the next, week or 6 weeks or however long it's going to take. And just
a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing is, right? Like, even if they select the person, right? It's not like the Democrats just have to survive the 6 weeks up until election. They have to also survive like all the other time that Trump is still in office, if he were to get replaced. Because I guess he could still like push it through, right? In, let's say, December. He doesn't give up his office until January?
Yeah, January, like early to mid-January, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I wish they would at least just wait to see who wins, and then say,
I don't think.
If Trump wins, and they're like, all right. I mean, I guess just pick somebody, dude. Just pick somebody.
Yeah.
But if the Democrats dominate the Senate, if he wins, then that changes things too.
Yeah, but
maybe they don't get in till I think they get in before the president gets in.
Oh, do they?
The new president, yeah.
Oh, that would.
I don't know
change
by
things.
how. I don't know by how much. Someone actually texted me that not too long ago. Let's see. So, well, this person is like, right when this happened, I guess Friday,
Yeah.
he was texting with me and he was like, RBG crying face. And I just said, what does that mean?
I'll be honest. When the first person texted me, they said RBG2, and I was like, what?
I looked up RBG, like acronym. I was like, this dude's older than me. How is he using like acronyms that I don't know? And then he's like, it means that there's a vacant Supreme Court justice seat now, but no way they'll let him install someone in 6 weeks. Only if he gets reelected will he be able to do that. And then we're really, really, really effed. This guy's
we're already really, really, really effed.
And I go, oh wow, that's definitely in the realm of possibility. And then he said it's going to be ugly. Mitch McConnell would not let Obama select adjusters with 11 months left in his term. Now he's going to argue that Trump has the right to nominate someone with less than 2 months left. It's going to be interesting because the senators will get sworn in on January 3rd, but the president doesn't get sworn in until the 20th of January.
Yeah, but that's still enough time. I would say, like, but
before now and then.
Yeah, but you're not gonna know the results of. I don't think we're gonna know the results of the election. The day that everything is technically over. Like, remember when Hillary and Trump were going? It was like it went overnight and all that stuff. But I think this one is going to be just so much worse. It's
going to drag on.
Yeah, it'll be 2022, and then Trump will be like, "Forget about it. Don't worry about it anymore. I'll just keep at it."
I'm declaring myself president for 4 years, and it's
Executive
2022,
order.
and he's like, yeah, till 2026. That's fine.
Yeah.
Wait, what? But I did. Did you see his video of him finding out that she died?
Oh no,
Trump?
No, I did not.
Like, he got off like a helicopter, and all these reporters were waiting as per usual, and they're like screaming at him, and he's like it's loud, you can't really hear, and they're like, Ruth Bader Ginsburg like passed away today, and he was like, oh my God. He was like, I don't really know, he said like she was an amazing woman and led an amazing life, and he's like, you know what, I'm actually very sad. I'm actually really sad right now. He's like, thanks for telling me. And it was like, wow, I did not expect that kind of response from him, just like off the cuff, because he didn't know that it happened, so he couldn't like prepare something. But it was not like, I don't know. I just didn't expect that. I expected more just like something a little bit more like insensitive, but he was actually being like the only time I've seen him be like at least respectful of what happened. So
he's a big softy, Kyle. I've been telling you this for years.
Yeah, you've been preaching that, but I'm finally coming around. We got about a month to go. So
just in time,
finally,
just in the nick of time.
Just in time, folks. Yeah, so that was interesting. And then Joe Biden found out, and he had to give a speech as well. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Not surprised that this happened in 2020.
No, No, that's very fitting for what we've been going through.
Yeah.
It again just highlights how much distrust I have for politicians, as you heard. But yeah, it's annoying. I'd have this exact same reaction if the situation was flipped. It really bothers me in general when people say one thing, and especially when it's crystal clear, and they don't know that things are going to go their way. So they say something that's like neutral and like that's the upstanding thing to say. And then once they're in the position
took a gamble,
of power,
it didn't pay off.
Yeah, once they're in the position of power, suddenly they're like, okay, well, screw my neutral self. I'm just gonna just throw my.
Can't a person change?
Yeah. He has one of the least intimidating voices on earth, but also Mitch McConnell looks like he really has a heart of like a demon, but he also looks like something out of like a Disney film, like a weird vulture.
He really does. He's got that turkey neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks unhealthy.
You could say that. My biggest.
He looks like they're. Have you seen the movie Hannibal?
Yes, I think so.
So there's a guy that he like tries to kill and eat, but he gets away or something. He's like a millionaire, and they actually shoot it at the Biltmore house where his house is actually the Biltmore house.
Mm-hmm.
And his face is just destroyed, but it's just all like just shiny, like plastic surgery face. Kind of looks like him a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm getting confused.
You're thinking Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
This is the second movie.
Okay. Yeah. Is this
Not
still
as
Anthony
good, but-
Hopkins?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you did Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and then Red Dragon with him and Edward Norton is in it.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of all three. I've only seen Silence of the Lambs, I think.
That's the only one you need to see.
Okay. Okay. With Clarice.
Yes, Jodie Foster.
Yeah, Jodie Foster, right. Yeah. So the implications of the SCOTUS situation, now that we've determined SCOTUS is Supreme Court, is pretty terrifying, especially for, honestly, women. Because think about like all the different laws that have passed because of RBG, or laws that have been upheld, I suppose I should say, because of RBG, and a lot of those have affected women. So it's I can understand how that it's an incredibly emotional time for a lot of people with her passing specifically, and it does make me wonder if the new Supreme Court justice, if it ends up going through and all that, if it's a woman, will she be sensitive to women's issues, or will she be a staunch Republican, which I find kind of funny, or I suppose I shouldn't say funny, but I find it weird that women's issues and being Republican are almost like two different things. Like they can't be together, right? So I really wonder if this new Supreme Court justice will see women's issues at least somewhat important by comparison to how RBG held the office.
Because someone was saying her most famous case as like Supreme Court justice was in like 96, because she was appointed in 93. And it was about whether or not VMI could allow women in their college.
Yeah, I don't
VMI is Virginia Military Institute, and
that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the details really, but I think she wrote a big, um, argument that women should be allowed to be cadets at this academy if they wanted to, and it eventually passed that they can, and they still do today.
Yeah.
And obviously women have gotten a much larger role in the military since then as well, like just in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it, with things like that and just upholding Roe v. Wade, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big concern that, if it's a Republican dominated Supreme Court, then there's a potential for them to just make Roe v. Wade illegal on a federal level, which I don't think will happen regardless. But, I don't know for sure, but I just wonder what the differences are between federal and state when it comes to abortion laws and things like that. I think it's really a lot more complicated than a lot of people just look at it like Republican. They're going to ban abortion and they're going to, do all these things that, they're going to make prayer mandatory in schools or, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if it's that cut and dry, but certainly you don't want it to be heavily biased in one way.
Yeah.
Anything to be, especially when I guess there's 9 Supreme Court justices. So, that can certainly skew your bias one way or the other, but a judge is supposed to not have bias. So you would think if you're in that such prestigious position, like that's the highest position you could possibly be as a judge, you probably had a record that was really fair. I mean, that's what you would hope, I mean, obviously you can have like big opinions on big bills that have been passed through the Supreme Court over the years, which can tell you how someone leans politically. But I don't know. You would just hope that people would use their facts and, judgment and reason to look clearly at these hot button issues before just immediately jumping the gun. So I just don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, really, than what people are making it out to be. But I think you need to have consistency with what your Senate said last time. If you're going to play that game, then you got to play it now.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking up the different judges. Yeah, you're right. So there's 9. It does seem strange that judges would have political leanings. I mean, clearly we're all human, but it's strange how they interpret the law in kind of 2 different ways. If it's more, liberal leaning or more conservative leaning. Wikipedia, a highly reliable source, has them all listed, and it kind of points out like it's got everything broken up into different categories. I'm trying to figure out what the percentages are, but there's Clarence Thomas, Stephen Breyer, John Roberts, Samuel Alito, Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Neil Gorsuch, and Brett Kavanaugh. And the last 2 were within the time that Trump, So if he gets another one, that's 3.
In one term.
In one term, exactly. That's pretty stunning. Clarence Thomas is from 1991. So he's been on there the longest. Yeah. I'm really trying to figure out what these percentages are. They just have percentages, so they have it broken up between criminal procedures, civil rights, First Amendment, union, economy, federalism, and federal taxes, and it just has percentages for each one. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so far, so we've got one of the threats that the Democrats were saying that they wanted to implement was extending or increasing the number of justices on the Supreme Court.
That's what they're saying. If they win the Senate, they'll try to vote to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if Trump wins again, you kind of have to have the Senate be liberal or Democratic to be to somehow like put a clamp on the damage that he can do.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like with this president more than any other president, I mean, despite, a Democrat being in office in a Democratic dominated Senate or Republican, vice versa, it seems just like, anything that needs to be approved by the Senate, it goes through without any issue at all. Whereas like, I feel like there's been plenty of times with Bush and Obama and Clinton where, even if it was majority, whatever they were, they still faced at least a little pushback, even from the same side, and maybe didn't get things through when they wanted to, and just didn't get things through at all. When it was like, oh, why? I thought I might be able to do that because you guys are on my same team or something like that.
Mm.
But with Trump, it's just like, what do you need? It's through.
Yep.
If we're dominated Republican, we're all going to vote yes.
Right.
100%. And probably if it's Joe Biden next, they would do the same thing on the other side. That's just how like cutthroat it's become, where it's just doing it to just spite people almost.
Yeah. And the way that, I mean, if that trend continues, then you're never, ever, ever going to have situations where people can be like, hey, so we want these things. Can you work with us? Like, we'll try and figure things out with you, try to reach across the aisle, as people say. It seems like we're getting further and further away from that and getting more on the word that you said was teams, right? That's how it feels.
Where it's all about, payback, revenge. If you do this, I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, you heard how the Democrats reacted.
Yeah.
There will be retribution.
Oh, God. It's just...
Chuck Schumer said...
what a time.
Said, anything. If you do this, anything goes next year. That's what he said to his Democratic cronies.
Yeah, I'm sure the Republicans are terrified of crying Chuck.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, my God. I mean, I don't think it's even going to stop if Biden gets in. So it's just like, what do we need in order to stop this avalanche of divisiveness and uncertainty and fear and confusion and potentially devastation?
That was a good string of words to describe this situation.
This year, really.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe just a viable candidate that people can get behind. That could be a start.
Could be.
But
anybody, I mean, you have to play the politics game somehow. And clearly a lot of people don't see it the way that we do. I mean, even within the scope of like the Democratic Party, I don't think that people see it the way that we do. Because, you had Bernie Sanders and you had Joe Biden, and now we're with Joe Biden. So I at least certainly felt like there were other candidates that were stronger like stronger, more intelligent, and more willing to walk across and try and like talk with Republicans and try and work on things.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I don't know if I briefly mentioned this before, but on Brett Weinstein's podcast, he does this thing called Unity 2020, where basically people have submitted candidates that they'll vote on. And I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Like, he's just basically promoting. Let's see. Promoting alternative candidates, and he's like, why can't we just
throw
why can't we
else?
just throw these guys in now? Like, we just need to throw these people in right now. And I'm trying to pull up the people that are that he's proposing, but it's just not coming up here. Okay, so Unity 2020 is a plan to draft a pair of courageous and capable patriots to form a co-presidency with one member from the left and one member from the right. Our plan requires that our candidates agree to govern as a team with the titles of president and vice president determined by a coin flip. This is a draft in the traditional sense of the word. Instead of partisan candidates lobbying for our votes, we are calling upon our draft candidates to step up in service of our nation.
Oh,
at the time of writing. Yeah.
Oh, God.
At the time of writing, our candidates do not have an active 2020 campaign.
I would refuse.
You wouldn't do it if you were drafted.
No. Are you kidding me?
Come on, man.
I would not want to be president.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. You ain't black.
And the leading team right now is Tulsi Gabbard and Dan Crenshaw.
Oh, yeah, Crenshaw. I don't know much about Crenshaw.
He's got one eye.
Yeah, I know that much.
I do know that. He's a Navy SEAL. He's a congressman from Texas.
I don't think I would like
He's a
that,
veteran.
to be honest. I mean, I know very little about Crenshaw, but just based off of that, like Tulsi Gabbard already has veteran experience. And so, I mean, adding another military person in there, I don't really
But he's
see.
a Republican.
Yeah, so what? I don't think that Tulsi Gabbard is like
true Democrat,
super
like
left leaning or like
No,
incredibly
no.
far on the left. So like getting a Republican
That's why she would
from
be the
Texas
perfect
and
person.
veteran and like all that stuff just seems a lot more Republican than she is Democrat. So I don't think it's.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I feel like it would be her.
They're
and,
currently in the lead.
yeah.
I mean, nothing's going to come of this, let's be honest, but it's a cool idea.
It is.
At least somebody's trying to like come up with something.
Yeah.
Top 6 most popular public nominees. So these were nominated by over 32,000 people. Tulsi Gabbard, Dan Crenshaw, Andrew Yang, Jocko Willink.
Oh yeah.
Jesse Ventura, William McRaven.
Okay.
Jesse the Body Ventura. Wow. You familiar with Jesse Ventura?
Not extremely.
Well, have you ever seen the movie Predator?
I have.
Remember the guy with a Gatling gun?
Yep.
He like holds it and just mows down the whole jungle with it.
Yep.
In an attempt to kill the Predator. That is Jesse Ventura.
Oh, okay. Great.
But he was a he was a Navy SEAL in Vietnam and then he became governor of Minnesota, like in the early 2000s, as a, I don't think it was Libertarian Party. It was like independent. Yeah, he just ran as an independent, and he went to all like the universities and got basically the young people to come out and vote. And yeah, did a pretty good job apparently. And now he's kind of off the grid.
That's kind of what you want in a politician. Just go in, put some service in, and then be like, all right, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not.
I mean, I definitely recommend listening to some of his interviews as of late. I mean, he did get into some like, he got into some conspiracy stuff, nothing like too wild, but on the verge of being like, all right, this guy's starting to really go down a dark hole here. But speaking of, I did run into a guy today that I had a meeting with who said he's been getting more and more into flat earth theory.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like I just need somebody to like show me the facts that it's not a flat earth.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Sense. Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I can't even talk about this. I was just like, all right, I don't know what to tell you, man. Just good luck on your journey.
There are certain discussions that you have to give into that hopelessness that you experience of just like, if this is where the conversation's going, then I'm not having this discussion.
No,
it's just too much. It's too much energy. It's like inertia.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to get the ball rolling in that discussion, and you just don't have the energy to get up to speed to be able to be like, all right, tell me why you think this. Let's try and get
Let me hear your side on flat Earth.
Exactly.
I don't care about your side on flat Earth at all.
No.
But it's not flat. A basketball.
Oh,
NBA
what a transition.
playoffs.
NBA playoffs. The real reason.
Yes, for the season.
Heat
man,
versus Celtics. Go, Kyle.
2-1 in this series right now, and I've actually been keeping a close eye on the Heat. The Heat are, my God, what a team to watch. Ever since the Bucks series, I've been keeping a very close eye on the Heat.
Yep.
The Miami Heat. Because they're just they're a fun team to watch. They play great together. They're a cast of unlikely people to be in this situation, I think, on paper.
Yeah.
Because you've got Duncan Robinson, who no one thought he would ever make it to the NBA. Looks like he's 12. Still super skinny. Tyler Herro, a rookie.
Yeah, I've liked him too.
I'll speak more on him in a second.
Okay. Great.
Jimmy Butler, who
who's that?
We know he's an all-star. He's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
But just I guess looking at him now on the Heat, you can say, man, maybe he was just on shitty teams before this, bad chemistry, because he seems to be the leader of the team, although he can't shoot threes at all. He doesn't have a great shot from three, but he can. He makes a lot of really good decisions, and he's one of the best defensive players I've seen in the playoffs so far. He has a few steals a game at least, can rebound, super athletic. Bam Adebayo, their center.
He's been awesome.
Super awesome. Yeah, he's really come alive. Incredible rebounder. He's good for like at least 3 blocks a game. starting to work on his game a little bit more with his outside shooting. Once he gets that down, he's going to be a problem. Can run up and down the court, has a big gas tank for a really big guy, which comes in handy. And then you got Dragic, who is their leading scorer and can shoot the lights out, can drive, pretty much create and pass. I mean, he's just the total package of what you want in a point guard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's the best in the league, but I mean, he's really putting up a hell of a performance in the playoffs. All those guys are. And they're just a fun team to watch, but I don't think their depth is really that great. So they kind of have to play like a near perfect game. And they really have been. The first 2 games they did, like they went down both games and came back and won by just like hitting big shots and really playing good defense. I think the Celtics, now that Gordon Hayward is back, they're a problem now.
Yeah.
Because he's really tough to guard, and you didn't really plan for him coming back. And obviously they won the game 3. So it might be a different story now, but I'm all in on the Heat. I think they'll be great next year too. But Tyler Herro, that guy's unbelievable. To be a rookie and to hit all these big shots and he's got at least 10 rebounds a game as like a shooting guard.
Yeah.
Super fast, great decision maker, passer, shooter, just a good all-around smart player. Only 20 years old, really not scared at all of any situation in the playoffs, like the Eastern Finals. Like he'll just jack up a shot like he's playing around. And the thing about him that really I was watching before game 2 or something like that, and they announced like the rookie teams of the year, and he was second team rookie of the year.
Yeah.
And that really
You were offended.
just makes no sense. I was really, any basketball list, I'm going to be offended. I feel like I was like, I can't wrap my head around how you're putting this dude on the second team. He's the only rookie. I mean, I'm sure there's rookies left in the playoffs, but are they playing? Probably not. Are they playing anywhere near the level that he's playing? No, right now. Maybe I didn't watch him during the regular season. I know he played the whole year. So I don't know if he's just really coming into form now, and it wasn't as an electrifying as a player as he was in the regular season. I find that hard to believe. But they put a guy on his team, Kendrick Nunn, on the first team, and he hasn't played 1 minute of the Celtics series.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
And
they put Zion on the first team, which if he played the whole year, like I get it. Like Ja Morant, obviously he was rookie of the year. I get that. That's fine. But even with Zion, that's just such a, I don't know who votes, but it's just such like a publicity stunt vote, in my opinion, because it's like, I'm sure he did really well in the games that he did play, but he played about half the games that Tyler Herro played. And it's like, what are we doing? Are we giving these things out because of how good these guys are, or how much money they're bringing in off a shoe deal or something like that? It's just watch the game and vote based on the numbers and how they're helping their team advance to win games. Otherwise, what are we doing? Like that, I was totally shocked, appalled, angered, upset, confused, worried, all the adjectives you could have. I was all of that and more and much more. But whatever. I just felt like I needed to say that part about the Heat. And then Like the Nuggets are a similar team too, in that they're just they just don't give up. They went down 3-1 in their last two series, came back to win.
Yeah.
And Jokic is pretty much establishing himself as the best big man in the league.
Oh wow, that's a pretty big statement.
At least top 3 in my opinion.
I could maybe
Like
see
true
top
big
3.
man.
Yeah.
Like he can shoot from anywhere.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to throw it in the ceiling, but it just like he's got a great shot. He's good for pretty much a triple-double every game. He's an incredible passer.
Oh yeah, yeah, he is.
And he's got a great post game too. Like he'll back down Anthony Davis like nothing. Like he did that a few times last night and basically willed his team to come back on the Lakers and put them in a chance to really win the game. But then AD made the buzzer beater. I mean, not much you can do about that.
No.
But he's really been a guy that has been incredibly eye-opening to me in the playoffs anyway. Just all around like unstoppable guy based on his size and his skills. And like you really see like him and Doncic and Dragic. I think they're all from either Serbia, Croatia, that area.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is going on in that area that is like producing some of these unbelievably talented players? Like those 3 guys, if they're all on like Croatia, like they could win the gold medal, at the Olympics or something.
Yeah, for sure.
But because they're all 3 different positions, but one might be Serbian. I think Dragic might be I don't know. Either way, let's not get into that history, but but yeah, NBA playoffs now. I mean, I don't know. I've been loving it because of how close it's been, and even when it's not close, usually there's going to be a comeback, like the Nuggets have been doing, the Heat have been doing. It's just been pretty fun to watch now.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it as well up to a point. Honestly, I was incredibly disappointed that the Clippers didn't advance.
Oh my God.
I would have been 1,000 times more interested. I really just it's not that I don't like the Nuggets. I don't really have a strong opinion about them. And you're right. I mean, Murray and Jokic, and there's like one other. But anyway, like they're doing a great job. But the problem is like they're doing a great job for who they are. They don't have the firepower. They can't. I just don't think that they can hold up to the
sustain
Lakers.
It for that long.
And I still, no matter what happened with the Clippers, which was an abomination, they still had the firepower to at least make it interesting with the Lakers. And I really don't want the Lakers to win. Like I've denounced the Bucks. I've denounced the Bucks.
The Canucks.
I've denounced them too. I've gotten rid of all my like Packers gear and my Bucks gear and all that stuff. So, but
did you burn it?
No, I just either threw it out or my girlfriend got one of my shirts. But I still, the fact that the Nuggets are playing the Lakers is so demoralizing. It's just so boring to me. Like I just don't. I don't care if they win a game. Like I there's nothing in me that's like, oh yeah, they're gonna win this series. Yeah. And then it just makes it seem like it's another cakewalk for the Lakers. They're gonna get to the finals, and then if they play the Celtics, they might win 4-0. I just don't believe in the Celtics. The Celtics have always, they're really good, they're really good, and then you push them just a little bit over the edge, and they just fall apart. And that's been the story for the last 3 years with the Celtics. Yeah. And I will say the Heat are the only team that I think at least has a tiny chance of beating the
Yeah.
Lakers. A tiny chance.
Because they
And that's-
don't. They're a team that doesn't get discouraged when they're down by more than 10 points.
Right.
They're just going to continue to do what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And so far, it's worked pretty well. But yeah, the Celtics, I could like when they go down big, they kind of fall apart.
They do.
The Clippers, for sure.
Yeah. Even when they're up.
They were ahead. But they were ahead every single game by like 15 points at one point.
Yeah.
And then the Nuggets start slowly coming back, and then they like tie it going into like the fourth quarter, and it's just like then they go up by like 15, and it's just over. And it's just like they're like just watching the game happen in front of them, and they're like, oh no, like it's already written that they're gonna blow a 3-1 lead somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the biggest probably disappointment of the entire playoffs. Not that I was like rooting for the Clippers in any way, but there's just been the story that's been built up. Kawhi
All
goes
season.
to LA, the other LA, and like, are they going to meet in the semifinals, and like who's going to win? And I think the Clippers beat the Lakers at least once in the regular season.
Oh, they did
this year, so you really didn't know. And I don't know what the hell's going on with that team, but there must be something with the players that's just they're not getting along. I don't know, because that just does not make any sense to blow a 3-1 lead like that, and to do it in the way they did it is just like so embarrassing.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah, it's incredibly embarrassing. So ultimately, I mean, I think the Lakers obviously have the best chance of winning, like an 85% chance in my book of winning the whole thing, which is really unfortunate. I don't have any animosity towards LeBron James, but I root against him like nobody's business, because I can't stand LeBron apologists. So it just strengthens their case just like a tiny bit. And then, this whole resurgence of LeBron James being the GOAT is suddenly going to come back, and it's going to irritate the hell out of me, because it's just so short-sighted. It's just focusing on his career. It's like not really appreciating all the people that were before him. There were quite a few that you could make an argument. So
yeah, and now your ability to move around from these 1-year deals is just like so much easier than it was back then.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just no. I mean, that's pretty much every sport now. There's no real like one club man, one club loyalty.
That's why it would be so cool
soccer,
to see the
like
Celtics win, or the Heat win, or the Nuggets win. That would be so cool.
Oh, yeah, because that's like they built a team, not around one guy. They're just like, what pieces do we want to have to potentially win a championship, and like build like a long-lasting team that like sticks together and like truly loves playing with each other and loves this organization and like wants to stay here no matter what happens.
Yeah, right. It'd be awesome.
Because I mean,
go ahead. I was just gonna say, it would be amazing if Jimmy Butler won, just because he's such a hard-nosed guy. Like he puts in tons of work, and I mean his story is unbelievable. It would be incredible if without a real like superstar by his side, he was able to defeat the Lakers and win the NBA championship. That would be unbelievable. I would be so happy for him.
Oh my God. Yeah. I really like him a lot. And, it'd be great. Like I said, it's just a fun team to watch, and like, they're the 5th seed in the East, like it's just an underdog story if they can even just get there. But like I said, I think it's just tough. Like now that Gordon Hayward's back, it's just going to be a problem. That's a huge problem.
Yeah, it is. And then potentially Celtics will move on, and then they'll just get stomped.
Just get rocked by the Lakers. Yeah.
It's going to be so boring.
It really will be. I mean, this Celtics Heat series now, I mean, you might as well make that your final.
Yeah.
Because that could go to 7. I mean, now it's already going to at least go to 6. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
could
think the Lakers, that shot last night just pretty much killed the Nuggets.
That's what I'm afraid of. They're up 2-0.
Yeah.
There's no home court advantage, so that's not really a factor. So it's really just up to who's the better team, and I think everybody would agree that the Lakers just have a better team.
Yeah. And the Nuggets know that they even played better than the Lakers, and they still lost. So they're just like, man, this is not like the Clippers, really.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Jokic just has to have like perfect games, and so does Murray. But when you're relying on just 2 guys to get it done, that's just tough. With the Heat, they just spread it out so much. The Celtics spread it out. I guess the Lakers kind of do a little bit because they have a lot of guys that can shoot the 3.
Yeah.
And
they have 2 superstars.
Exactly. So 2, MVP guys. So, yeah. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully the Nuggets can at least win one, but we'll see.
Yeah, because then the Lakers get a ton of rest too. Like the Heat will go 7 games or something like that, and then then they have to go
They've been off
straight
for a
into
week.
Yeah, and it's annoying. It's really annoying. I can't.
Like
I'm so disgusted
it just
by the
sucks
Clippers.
because I know they really screwed everybody. They screwed everybody out. Like I'm happy for the Nuggets, but yeah, the Clippers they let everybody down. They let the team down. They let themselves down. They let their audience down. And that's the number one rule. You don't let your audience down. But NFL is picking up again.
Oh yeah, that's picking up as
Tommy V got a win against
against none other than the Carolina Panthers. If Alex Teasdale is listening, I just want to remind you, just give up the Panthers. It's much healthier, I promise.
It feels good.
He texted me after they lost, and he was like, fuck the Panthers. They're going 2-14 this season. They suck as always. Every time they lose, he gets really pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah, we might not win a game, actually, because McCaffrey got hurt.
Yeah, right. So he'll
be
if
back
he's
in
out 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if he's out, what? Who do we have? We're basically a college team at that point.
Yes. I remember those days. Watching the Panthers when they were that bad in the past. And now they are again.
Yep.
Luckily, Cam Newton is struggling.
I know. What a good decision our organization made by letting him go, huh? Dead weight.
Yeah, dead weight.
Could have won at Seattle last night. He could have easily won, but they called the wrong play at the end, I think.
And 49ers lost like 3 of their major players yesterday, or when they played. So I think the Seahawks have so far at the beginning of the season. I feel like they have the best shot to win it all. Either that or the Ravens. Either that or the Ravens.
The Ravens.
I do think I'd give the slight edge.
Are there? But could that be the Super Bowl?
Seahawks, Ravens. Ravens are in the NFC. I don't know where the Seahawks are. Hold on, folks.
Because I thought Ravens were AFC and Seahawks were NFC, but they could both be.
I think you're actually right. Okay, Let's see. Division. Great. Thank you. That doesn't help at all. Okay. AFC. AFC North is Ravens. Yeah.
Okay.
Seahawks are NFC. So Seahawks are NFC. Ravens are AFC. So yes, the Ravens could play the Seahawks. That would be incredible.
Wow. Bucks, Seahawks, and then Ravens, Chiefs. Winner of those games. I don't think the Bucks are going to do it, but maybe.
I kind of hope so. It'd be a great story. Tom Brady has turned me around.
Yeah. Oh, well. So you're now a Bucks fan.
No, I'm not.
You got a jersey in the mail coming to you?
I'm not a Bucks fan.
Tampa Bay.
And I'm a no one fan.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they beat the Panthers. That's really not saying much.
No.
And then the Saints play the Raiders tonight.
Yeah.
Monday night. But I really don't know. I can't really call it in the right now because, you know, like I said, it's just too early. But so far, yeah, the Seahawks look pretty good. I mean, Russell Wilson, he's got to be in the MVP race.
Oh, yeah.
For sure already. And then like Lamar is obviously in the race, Patrick Mahomes, and then Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Kyler Murray as well. I think he's going to struggle down the line still.
Mike Vick reincarnated.
Yeah. Although I'm not a fan anymore, Aaron Rodgers had 2 great games as well.
Yeah, he is. He's on a mission right now.
Yeah, but when I was a Packers fan, that often was the case. Have a great regular season, get to the playoffs, and something would happen.
Collapse.
Yeah, something would happen.
If the Packers make it to the Super Bowl, then what? You're still not.
Nothing. I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not jumping on the bandwagon.
All right, Lindsay Graham.
Oh, February rolls around. Listen here
I
now.
never
The circumstances have changed.
I really never said if you look back at the tape. I didn't say it.
It's a good thing we're not recording this. Suddenly this episode disappears.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Spotify took it down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another controversy.
Controversy.
Unfortunately, with our millions of fans, I'm sure people are, taking records of our shows as well.
Oh,
so.
yeah. They're going to remind you.
Yeah, they're going to remind me.
Yeah, NFL's back. Premier League is back.
Yeah, I saw Zlatan
Breaking news
Ibrahimovic with, AC Milan. He scored a touchdown.
Close. He scored 2 goals in the Serie A of Italy. Mm-hmm. So just proving that he's still a reliable striker at, I don't know, he's 30s now.
Yeah.
Absolute legend for AC Milan. But Premier League in England is back, and Gareth Bale is coming back to Tottenham Hotspur,
Whoa.
the London-based club. He was at Real Madrid for 7 years, went from Tottenham 7 years ago, broke the world record transfer fee, which at that time I think was about 120 million pounds.
Nothing.
Or euros, just to acquire his services. And now he's back because Zidane and him don't get along at all, and he just really doesn't play him a lot. And Tottenham could certainly use him again if he can still give a few more years of top quality that he's capable of.
Yeah.
But do you want to guess what his salary is? Gareth Bale, the Welshman, now playing for Tottenham.
Well, he's been playing.
Just
for
like what do you think he makes like weekly?
Weekly. I mean,
Because that's how they pay.
I can give
them.
you an annual easy. I mean, he's been playing the soccer for a number of years, and he was pretty good at it. So
Very
he's
good.
probably
Champions League winner.
He's gotten
One of the greatest
raises.
goals of all time in the Champions League final.
He's gotten a few raises, so probably like upwards of like $55,000
a week.
No, a year.
Oh, okay.
55,000 a week would be absurd.
I know. It's not quite 55,000 a week, but it is 775,000 a week.
Dude, hold on. Do you have that in total?
That's
amount?
dollars. So pounds, I guess, would be.
Wait, you said how much a week?
$775,000 every week.
Okay, times
Is
4
what this
for
man
a
is
month.
getting.
So that's 3.1 million a month. Times how many months are there? 12. So he's getting paid just a little over $37 million a year. That's nothing.
You imagine just 1 week of work and then you get a check for that much money. It's absurd. And then Real Madrid have to pay 60% of that because of how the negotiations went down. They just want to get him out.
Right.
So
that's stunning.
It's a wild, yeah. It's wildly different than like sports here, how they're handled in certain ways. But yeah, it's a lot of money. He had better he had better deliver.
Who are you a fan of? Team-wise in the Premier League. Who do you fancy?
I mean, I've always liked Manchester United in the Premier League. Because when I started watching, it was back when Ronaldo was a young man at Manchester United, and that's really one of the reasons I got so hooked, is just watching that team at that time period. Just really have amazing years. And then in recent times, they've been not nearly as good as what they once were or what they're normally used to being, but it's been kind of a rebuilding phase with them now. But yeah, there's just so much money now in the Premier League that a lot of different teams are able to acquire a lot of really good players. So it's kind of hard to call like a favorite at the beginning of the year because so much can change within the course of the year.
Right.
So, and that's why it's so fun and exciting to watch. But that's back, and then I'll let you talk about Stanley Cup Final because that's going on right now. I don't really know what's happening there, so give us a recap.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus there. So the Hurricanes, Carolina Hurricanes, are out. They're not in.
What?
They're no longer in the Stanley Cup.
We're always in that.
Yeah, we are.
Right?
Yep, always in the running, but not there this year. Shocking news. Anyway, that's what I got for you.
That's all that matters to me.
No, I don't keep up with the NHL. I think I told myself a few years ago that I might give it a whirl to try and learn the National Hockey League, but
Yeah,
I just never got around to it.
man. Well, yeah, I sometimes watch, but only time I watch is in the playoffs.
Wow.
And yeah, but not this year.
Not this year.
This is the hockey when hockey was on, and when I was in Vegas, and the Vegas Knights were still in it,
Yeah.
and so there was like a lot of people watching. But that was the one sport where I was like, it just looks so weird with no fans. Hockey
Really?
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just strange. I couldn't get behind it.
The NBA's
But
done a pretty good job with that. Like even with no
they
fans,
have.
they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, the virtual fans, and then they pump that noise in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. NFL, I guess they pumped in a lot of the noise in the Seattle game because obviously that's like the noisiest stadium.
Yeah.
But Cam was like, yeah, it wasn't nearly as loud as like what it can be, with all the fans, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and then some teams are like doing social distancing, like the usual suspects, like the Jags and the Browns.
Yeah. Well, people are social distancing for other reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
They just don't want to be in the stadium.
Well, those two teams are in the stadium. The fans are.
The people are. Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I didn't
Not
realize
not like jammed together, but like spaced out. But like they I saw the Browns game on Monday night, and it was like, oh, a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
just. I mean, it looked like they were spaced apart, and it was very like sparsely populated, but they were definitely there. And then the Jags week 1, I mean, people were there. They were having a good time.
That's Florida.
That's Florida. That's Cleveland.
Yep.
Wouldn't expect anything less from those teams. If you had to say who are the teams that bring back fans first, I would say the Browns and the Jaguars.
Oh, for the Jaguars for sure.
I mean, two teams who have never had, who have, I don't know, just they've never had anything to lose. We always expect to do terrible. Why not? Why not this time?
All we care about is money at this point.
Yeah, let's have a little bit of fun. Go to the game. Which I didn't really watch a lot of that Browns-Bengals game. Shocking.
Yeah, that is shocking.
But I did see some highlights, and Joe Burrow does look like he's going to be a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
I'd already rather have him than Baker Mayfield.
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah. Yeah. Because Baker Mayfield, you don't know what you're going to get. You might get an amazing game, or you might have a game where he's just a complete disaster and throws the ball to the other team 4 times.
Yep.
Or Jameis Winston. That's another one.
Yeah, that's another one. But, and then finally to round it out, the U.S. Open Sunday.
Tiger got kicked out.
He missed the cut, as they say.
Second round.
Yep.
Oh wow!
If you don't make the cut after Friday, you're going home with no money. And this is not a tournament where you want to go home, because the purse was $12.5 million.
So is he out, or does he still have a shot?
He was out. The tournament was Thursday through Sunday. It ended yesterday.
I got you.
And the first 2 days, everybody, and if your total score at the end of Friday is beneath the cut line,
You're right.
you go home.
Mm-hmm.
and it changes throughout the day based on like the best scores and the lowest scores. You kind of want a little middle ground. And a lot of people didn't make the cut. And it was like one of the hardest courses. The U.S. Open is always a major tournament in golf that is extremely hard. They always pick very difficult courses. Like Pinehurst is a U.S. Open course in North Carolina. And you want to shoot under par. And the winner was 6 under par, and the second place was even par.
Wow.
And everybody else was over par. One guy was under par.
DeChambeau.
Yep. The Frenchman.
Yeah.
The French Canadian.
Somehow that guy communicated to me.
No, he's American, but he's a very, I don't know if you've looked into this guy at all, but he's a very interesting guy. He was a physics major, I think at Stanford. So he implements like mathematics and like physics and geometry into his golf. All his clubs are the same length. And he swings his club the exact same way and like putts in a very like robotic style.
Yeah.
And he's very unconventional. Like there's never been anybody like this guy. And in the first couple of years he was around, he was like all over the place, like went like doing really well, doing really bad. Like he's kind of got a big boisterous personality. So he's kind of polarizing figure in golf. And then last year he like bulked up and gained like so much muscle, and he's driving the ball like 350 yards.
Yeah.
Which is just outrageous. Like he leads the tour in driving yardage, and he's pretty accurate as well. And you should just look up a clip of him just driving the ball, because he like swings it like he's trying to kill someone. He like jumps, like almost jumps out of his skin. Like he swings it so hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, he's really looking at it from like a physics perspective, and no one has ever done that. Like I hit it, lead this angle, like who the hell has ever considered that as a golfer, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's all about touch and feel, and like of course there's wind involved, and you want to know the wind speed and the temperature and whatever, but yeah, he's definitely changing golf in a way.
That's really cool. I'm curious how that turns out long term. Or if he starts winning a lot, if the PGA is going to end up trying to change some of the rules.
Well, that's exactly what people are saying now. Like,
really?
Yeah, there's been like articles like, should they change the rules, or like, are the rules going to change? I'm just like, he won using everything you guys had. So,
yeah,
you know, I don't know.
Please don't do math.
Yeah, this is a gentleman's game. Okay.
This is a gentleman's game. Wow. Yeah, I'll check him out for sure. For the next episode, I was thinking about doing something. Every once in a while, like on YouTube and stuff, they have these different clips of people that are like in relationships or all kinds of different like social interactions that you can find on YouTube that are kind of set up like, hey, we're going to put you in this room, we're going to ask you these different questions, and we kind of want your opinions on different things. And it's people from all around the world. So, and it's really interesting to hear how people answer some of these things. So I'm thinking maybe next week I might try and introduce that and get your opinion on how people react to different questions that they're asked and in different situations that they're in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good thing to change it up. I'd be interested in that for sure.
Yeah, well, now that we've got things on like actual video and whatnot, I can actually throw stuff up so that, and the audio. I'm hoping that if I like clip things well enough that we don't get flagged for anything. I don't think on the podcast it's going to matter, but for the video, I think as long as we're doing commentary, it'll be fine. So if anybody's gotten to this point in this podcast, let us know if you'd be interested in that. I might just give it a shot next week and see, or one of these weeks, and see how it turns out, and we can go from there.
Sweet. Yeah, I'd be looking forward to that.
Cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to discuss?
Just a quick overview of the War of 1812. I think it's a good reminder. Give a brief overview of the kind of why it started and how how the effects are still being felt today.
Okay. You have the floor.
Part 1. A cold winter's day. 1811.
1811. Oh, man.
January.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I think
that's it.
I think we'll say that for next episode, or you can talk. You can talk for the rest of the time.
I'll still keep going.
I'm gonna step out until next week.
Yep.
Come back. You're still talking. At this point, February of 1812.
Part 2. Like Dan Carlin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like get an hour in, like now our story begins.
Yeah, exactly. Now that you have background of the background.
I know.
Oh, man. All right.
We'll have him on soon.
Yeah. Maybe next week. We're still figuring out the details on
I'll call
his
him.
Schedule and our schedule and whatnot, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Tune in.
Yeah, just tune in, whatever. All right. Well, until next week. See you guys.
See you later.